People with street smarts. What is your most street tip? Story 1. If I'm in an unfamiliar city, I'll explore freely every neighborhood as long as there are women and kids around. Most mums don't hang outside with their kids if the street area is unsafe. This worked very well for most throughout Latin America, Europe, and Asia. Story 2. There are 146 street suffixes acknowledged by the U.S. Postal Service. Alphabetically, the first is alley and the last is yard. These are also bad places to duck into if you're being followed, because there's only one exit. Story 3. Don't talk if you don't need to. Edit. People disregarding the topic of the post and complain about scenarios outside of the subject matter. Story 4. This is a niche tip, but if you ever suspect something to have an electric current, do not touch it with the palm side of your hand. It can cause your muscles to contract and not let go. Always use the back side of your hand, or even better, use a blade of grass or something not too conductive. Story 5. If you want to know if you can trust somebody you let in your home, leave a $5 bill in a place that looks like it was forgotten about and that they would see it. If they'll take you for $5 now, they'll take you for more later. Story 6. Don't with people. Even the skinniest, nerdiest Steve Urkel looking might be crazy with a knife under his sleeve, might stab you soon as you turn around. But don't be scared of people either. Mutual respect. Story 7. The most dangerous time to drive is right when it starts raining, because any oil on the street has mixed with the water, making it slippery, but hasn't had enough time to wash away yet. Story 8. If you are a tourist and want a local to take a pic of you with your phone, either have it be an employee or someone you can outrun. Wear one headphone so you can still hear what's around you. Story 9. Let's say a kidnapper throws you in the back of a trunk. Don't panic. Once you get your bearings, find the carpet that covers the taillight. Peel back the carpet, make a fist, punch the taillight out the back of the car, thus creating a hole in the back of the automobile. Then stick your little hand out and wave to oncoming motorists to let them know that something hinky is going on. Edit. This is not actual advice. I know that it's difficult to just punch out a taillight, and I know there's a latch inside all newer cars past a certain manufacturing year. This was a reference to John Mulaney's Kid Gorgeous. Please stop sending me aggressive messages. Story 10. Look like you'll fight back. Not so much that it looks like you're issuing a challenge, but just so that anyone looking to get the $20 in your wallet will wonder whether it's worth the effort. Story 11. People make pickpockets' livelihood so easy. Just check out how many phones are in people's back pockets, how many handbags dangle by the side, easily accessible. Always put valuables in an inside, preferably zipped pocket. If you in a notorious pickpocket area like Paris or Naples, you can even carry a fake wallet with Monopoly money in an outside pocket. Story 12. Don't hug the walls. Walk a bit towards the center, especially near corners. Keep your ears open. Notice things. Footsteps, shuffling, metal clanging, anything. Basically, be aware of your surroundings and anticipate critical situations. Story 13. Mind your own business. At restaurants or other establishments, sit with your back to a wall, no blind spots, and a view of the entrance. Beware of unsolicited kindness or help from strangers. People who carry guns often walk and posture a certain way. Learn to identify this. Don't be a hero. Never accept something free from someone you don't know. This is a big one in prison. Never assume or believe a woman you don't know if she says she's on birth control. If you commit crimes with people you know and get caught, expect them to rat on you. At the scene of an accident or overdose, don't expect or ask people to help. Tell them to. This tends to break the bystander effect. If you witness a serious crime, disappear. Getting involved in any way is bad news. If it's really important to you that you do the right thing, call an anonymous tip line. If someone's staring you down, nod your head down while maintaining eye contact. A harmless person will nod back. Look away. Don't hop trains your first time alone. In getting to know train hoppers and hobos, don't hit on a hobo or tramps woman. You will probably end up with a bashed skull behind a bush. This is common enough to say something. Run if you need to. Hurt pride is temporary. Avoid meth heads. Avoid meth heads. Things often go very quiet before hits the fan. You can feel it coming. This is very common in prison. I don't condone murder, but if for whatever reason you murder someone and have an accomplice, you should probably murder that person too. And any witnesses. Have an exit plan at all times. Don't steal from criminals. Don't steal, period. Don't rob drug dealers in your neighborhood. A weapons enhancement on a robbery can be the difference between a few years and decades. Story 14. If you are a woman and have a handbag with a zipper, make sure the opening end is towards the front, where you can keep an eye on it. This prevents someone walking behind you from opening your handbag and taking your wallet, anything valuable. Story 15. If anyone ever makes the conscious decision to steal anything from you, never trust them. Ever. If they will steal a lighter from you, they will steal your weed, your money, your jewelry, your car, you name it. Stay away from stupid motherfuckers. They'll get you in legal trouble, hurt, or killed, despite their best intentions or how friendly they are. If you sell drugs, don't get sloppy. Sloppy, weakness, and somebody will set that up. $1 bills stack up over time. If you broke, a bag of potatoes is like $2. $50 backing down from a fight may hurt your ego but will keep you alive longer. That being said, sometimes you gotta fight. Pick your battles wisely. Not everyone who calls themselves your friend is your friend. Not everyone you call a friend is a friend. If you even think for 1 second you should bail, get the up out of whatever situation you are in immediately. If you accidentally disrespect someone, apologize immediately. Buy them a beer, offer a cigarette. I've seen this save lives. More often than not, loud people bring the noise, quiet people bring the guns. That being said, never underestimate how bad somebody wants to prove themselves. And watch out for live wires. A live wire is somebody who gets hyped up and excited easy. Will shoot first, never ask questions. If you ain't from the streets, hood ghetto, don't act like you are. If an older street knowledgeable person tells you, don't do, don't go, fill in the blank, don't fucking do it. Smoke weed. Don't with any type of powder. If the blunt is already rolled, don't smoke it. Never ever ever find out what somebody has in the trunk. Finally, look, listen, and learn. Edited for clarity, added a few. Story 16. For girls, make up a fake boyfriend to get creeps away. If you're being followed, don't freeze up and just keep walking. Go into the nearest fast food place or store. Keep your eyes forward and don't look at people. And please, for the love of God, don't stop in the middle of the sidewalk. Story 17. Trust your gut instinct. If your gut is telling you something's off, then treat it as such. A really good book about this is The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. Story 18. Hotel lobbies are great places to use the restroom. They are usually clean, safe, and hardly ever occupied as most guests will go up to their own room instead of using the public location. Story 19. Most of what I do has already been mentioned, but here's one I rarely hear about. I use Windows reflections to check who is behind me. Looking at a shop window while I walk is innocuous enough, but it allows me to check if someone is still behind me without me turning around. Story 21. Count the room, count the exits. 2. City face. Don't look happy in a dense area on the street. Look slightly pissed. If you have something to be happy about, that's something someone wants. Story 21. Act like you live wherever you are. Like you know the place. Like you know exactly where you're going. I use a wheelchair and do this whenever I travel. I figure out where I am going before I venture out. If I am lost, I duck into a store or restaurant in order to look at my phone or ask directions. Be focused on the direction you are going and don't act like a fucking tourist. Ironically, I feel much safer by myself when I can act like this instead of when I'm traveling with some clueless friend or relative who has to stop for pictures every 20 feet. I rarely, if ever, get approached for money or anything when I am by myself. But throw in my dumb Aunt Susan and we're brushing off weirdos all day long. Story 22. I was walking with my friend, and I asked him, Bob, am I book smart or street smart? He said, I don't know, let me borrow $10. I gave him the money. Book smart, he replied. Story 23. Don't walk around staring at your phone after dark. It's immensely stupid. 1. It lights up your face from a mile away like a dumb, distracted easy mark. 2. You aren't at all aware of your surroundings, even if you believe you are. We're nowhere near as good at multitasking as we assume. 3. If you suddenly do need to look up at impending danger, your eyes are adjusted for bright light rather than darkness, and you won't be able to clearly see who's around you. Story 24. For reference, I'm a 4'11" woman, 100 pounds at best. To prevent myself from being mugged when walking home late at night, I wear baggy jackets, stuff my hands in my pockets, cause implies I have a weapon, pull a mean scowl and pace incredibly quickly to where I need to go. Once I was approached by some crackhead and I fucking just looked him in the eye and walked even faster towards him. Fucker ran. That's all the tips I got. Every time I've had a pleasant, relaxed air, I've been approached by strangers. It's sad, but you gotta out-crazy the crazy. Also, don't have your music so loud you can't hear people sneak up behind you. IDK what it's like in America, but king hits are common in Australia, where people murder you from a punch in the head from behind. Story 25. Not me, but one of my employees. We dress casually on Fridays and call it Flip-Flop Friday. He never participates. I asked him why, and he said, I can't run in flip-flops. You always have to be ready to run. Story 26. And avoid gangs. There's no loyalty, no advantages, and unless you're a true savage. Gangs solely exist so that prey will align themselves with apex predators in hopes of creating an alliance with the strong. When really they're just going to be taken advantage of and extorted. We always hurt those we're closest to. Oh, and the savages go to jail for savagery. So it's all around a lose-lose situation to affiliate. Keep your nose clean, become successful, and get the out the hood. And if you got no business being in the hood, don't go to the hood. Simple and plain. Story 27. As someone who grew up in some tough parts of the Bronx and Yonkers in New York City and has been around Queens as well, my biggest tip would be NVM. This needs a list. Walk like you know where you're going. If you look like an easy target, chances are folks around you are thinking the same thing. Most bad areas are infested with poverty-stricken people looking for an easy come-up. If you ever hear a door slam shut, followed by, "Ayo, he right there, that's him." Run for your life, even if you did nothing. People die from strays and misidentified targets regularly. If a stranger compliments you on your new kicks or says something along the lines of, "What size you wear?" Insert size. Word, those is my size too. Do not entertain this conversation. Keep it short and sweet, and the first chance you get, check your surroundings. This usually is him essentially implying he is about to book your sneakers. If he is smart, he will usually have people waiting for you on your other side. Or if you are on the train, he will have goons posted up at the nearest stop knowing you will probably try to dip. Keep your head on a swivel. Never get caught sleeping. So many lives could have been saved had the victims had a little more environmental awareness or street smarts, most notably 15-year-old Junior, who grew up around where I spent most of my time as a kid and as a teenager. Not to be a dickhead, but had he had a little more street smarts and recognized the setup beforehand, he would have known to not come out. Please don't buy anything from anyone who is trying to bargain with you on the block or corner. Whatever the is, expect it to have poor quality and it was probably illegally obtained. If you feel unsafe with a chain on, tuck your chain and any other jewelry. Lock your car doors. Memphis will key your if they notice you leave it unlocked every day. Do not engage with anyone who isn't there alone. MFS will jump in and stomp you with big Timberland boots. Lastly, walk with confidence. Look confident, not cocky. Cockiness can and will get you killed depending on where you at. Edit. I know silver ain't, but I've never got silver or gold before. Thank you, kind stranger. Story 28. My rule is, don't stop in the street for someone you don't know. This includes people asking the time or directions. It covers you for charity collectors and prevents you being mugged by distraction. It doesn't matter how friendly they are. Keep on moving. No physical contact either, e.g. handshake. Never use a cash machine, ATM, without being aware of your surroundings. So no headphones, no conversations. Both are things I've learned after being mugged. Story 29. Never show fear. Ever. Wolves smell fear. No matter how scared you are, always act as if everything is fine. Don't allow your body to stiffen. Relax your throat so your voice sounds natural. Most importantly, relax your eyes. Story 30. If you're being robbed, don't fight back. Your life is worth more than your phone, your money in the wallet, a purse, and whatever else you're carrying. Just obey to the demands, and it will be over as quick as it begun. Feel the urge to fight that guy giving you. Don't. Just walk, run away. The best form of self-defense is running away. Tourists in London. If you see two people on a high-powered scooter or a group of scooter riders, be wary of them. They're more than likely robbing people or other bikes. Bike crime is incredible high in London right now. They will mount the curb and they will your belongings. Story 31. If you live in a country where most criminals use knives and not guns, invest in some chainmail and a breastplate. Start to dress like you are sacking Constantinople in the Fourth Crusade. Story 32. If you're being attacked and someone is trying to get you into a vehicle to take you to a secondary location, fight as much as you possibly can to not get in the vehicle. If they kill you while fighting, it will be quick, and your murder will be easier to solve. But if they take you to a second location, they can keep you alive as long as they want, doing whatever they want to you, and your disappearance will be much, much harder to solve. Better to go down swinging and make it easy to catch your attackers than end up tortured for God knows how long. Story 33. If someone attacks you, attack back. Seriously. A guy attacked me at the bar. I was able to get a hold of him and calm him down. I told him, "This isn't going to happen. We are not fighting." I left him and went home. In half an hour, he was at my door with a 2-4. I calmed him down enough to drop it, but he still landed a couple of punches. I had enough, called the police, filed a report, and they dropped the case. Nothing happened. He knew I wouldn't fight, so he came for blood. Sometimes you need to really show you are not going to be fucked around with. Edit 1. For all the people with the gun license. I have one, and guns, but I live in the Czech Republic. Here, if you get into an altercation of self-defense, your license is taken away until it is proven you were in the right, which can take months to years. I was also at the bar. I had just finished my second beer. The moment my breathalyzer test would have shown positive, then I am the guilty one. Here it's very difficult in those situations, and the self-defense laws are written that if I counterattack, I cannot cause same or worse harm that was awaiting me. Story 34. I am a 60-something female who travels extensively alone for work. I have had a few close calls, but my rule is I don't worry about offending someone that approaches me if there aren't others around. I will cross the street, head for an open establishment, get away. Panhandlers. Do you have a cigarette, guys? Don't let them get close to you if there's no one around. I keep my keys in my hand and say, if you come any closer, I'm going to push this alarm. I was heading for the airport early in the morning with luggage, and a creepy guy drives by, asks if I need a ride. I say no. He goes down to turn around and is coming back. I saw a restaurant worker down the next block having a smoke, so I yelled to him, "Hey, I might need some help here," and he ran down to stare the guy down. I don't hesitate to ask a security guard to walk me to my car. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Be aware of your surroundings. Story 35. When someone comes up to sell you something, look them in the eyes and say a firm and rather loud, "No." They quickly move on. You've shown you won't be an easy target, either for pickpocketing or buying what they're selling. And they don't want you to bring attention to them. I've mainly used this when I've given myself away as a tourist or non-native somewhere and someone sketchy comes up to me trying to act friendly. I look like a total, but I practically yell at them and they just move on. I'm a 5'0" woman weighing in at 125 lbs. I've traveled alone around plenty of sketchy places in the US and spent months in Europe, and I've never been stolen from. You may look like an easy target at first glance, but making some noise and giving a single-worded rejection, nosh, dismissal, keeps them moving. I always think of this. They look sweet and innocent, but you gotta be a... Someone else in that thread also said, never let anyone touch you. If someone is talking to you or touching you that you don't know, make some noise. Story 36. Walk at a steady, even pace. Always make eye contact. If eyes lock, remain confident and give a single nod, then proceed. And stay out the streets. There's a lot more murders running around than you think. Story 37. When traveling, always try to act like you're a local. Learn prices, learn routes, learn behaviors, and when possible, try to copy their accent. I do this all the time and it's easier to haggle. You also have less chances of being targeted by local thieves. Story 38. Don't ask random people for directions. A random dude on 42nd St. probably does not know how to get to the Apollo. You're better off going to a cop or a corner store to find out. Or just use your phone if it's on. Don't drink from your drink if you've left it unattended. Story 39. Listen to that little voice inside your head. It's smarter than you. Edit. You know what I mean. When it says things like, "Oh my, that guy's walking toward me quite fast," or "Heck, that dark alley probably isn't the route to take," or "Oh my goodness gracious, that car is driving way too slowly around here to be up to any good." Not, for example, when it says something like, "Hey, you really ought to lick that stranger's face." Not the imp of the perverse. Story 40. How you dress is probably the biggest factor I haven't seen mentioned here much. If you dress like you have money, you're a target. If you dress like you don't, you're unlikely to be. What's more, dressing and acting like belong can nullify a lot of other things that make you a target. Story 41. If you cut down to River Road and avoid Pleasant RD altogether, you can get downtown faster and not have to deal with the construction. There's some street smart stuff. Story 42, Dave Attell. If I need directions, I'm not asking the guy with one tooth, I'm asking the guy with one leg, because he definitely knows the easiest way to get there. Yep, if there's a shortcut that one leg knows where it is. You won't be hopping fences neither. Story 43. Carry a decoy wallet. Stash just maybe a $5 and some coins in it. If you get mugged, give them that. They probably won't want to stay around much longer after you give it to them, and you'll still have your real wallet, with your cards and real amounts of money inside. Story 44. Walk confidently. Act like you belong. But never let feeling like it's awkward to act prevent you from avoiding a dodgy situation. 9% is avoidance. And with the best of the best, it doesn't matter what you do. If you get on the wrong bus with a team of pickpockets, the only way out of that is getting off the bus. Don't ever carry expensive goods in isolated regions or overly crowded regions if it's in an area with lots of tourism. Never leave anything in a hotel safe unless it's an international chain. That just puts a label on it. Had enough stuff go missing from hotel safes with end result being a he said, she said argument and you end up screwed? Lastly, if you feel someone touching your shoulder or something like that, it's to physically distract you from fact they are taking your wallet. Immediately move and shove hand to wallet. Highly recommend you watch some stuff on YouTube about how pickpocket teams operate. You'd be really surprised just how many people involved and how organized. Source. Traveled the world as a digital nomad. Story 45. I live in a European country. Every time a person approaches me and wants to do a survey or wants to sell something to me, I start replying in broken English. Telling people I'm not interested in there just doesn't work where I live. Story 46. Get in line behind thee. Works well at fast food places, airports, basically anywhere with one-to-one face-to-face customer service. After dealing with the your polite, simple request will be fulfilled if at all possible. Edit. About 5 years ago, I was flying back from London with my GF at the time. We were seated in two parts of the plane and wanted to be able to sit together. Got in line behind someone who was screaming about missing his connection and politely asked if it was at all possible could we sit together or near enough to negotiate a switch with someone on board. Agent cleared a row of 4 seats for us, and we got pillows, blankets, and meal beverage vouchers for all 4 seats. Story 47. My friend gave me this advice once and have used it a few times and works well. Unfortunately, only works if you are a male. If you are walking through an shady side of town, Dar City, then take off your shirt and shove it in your pocket. This obviously helps if you have tattoos or muscles, but that really doesn't matter. If you ever see a guy walking down the street sidewalk with his shirt off and no sign of his shirt anywhere, he is probably crazy and people will stay the F away from you. I have lived in Washington Heights, NYC, and sometimes had to take the subway home late at night and exit the train in the shady, drug-filled side of that neighborhood. Locals would look at this crazy white boy walking the sidewalk in the cold with no shirt on like I was carrying a gun. Brilliant. Story 48. Is street smarts also just about not getting robbed and assaulted randomly? I think Redditors have a bad understanding of street smarts. Maybe the only one. But street smarts is more dealing with other people and getting outcomes that are advantageous to you in varying situations without scamming and lying. Edit. Emphasis. Story 49. If you need a disguise, dress as a service person. Is that correct name? I.e. street cleaner, delivery guy, person with a clipboard, etc. Then just act normal. People tend to ignore these people as they see them every day. Story 50. Keep your eyes ahead. Don't look at people. Keep a good 10 yards between yourself and anyone behind or in front of you. Don't wear flashy expensive. Don't go looking for there won't be. Story 51. I always say there's 3 things you need. 1. Your phone, in case something happens. 2. A pair of headphones. People tend to ignore you if you make it clear you won't be able to hear you. 3. Your I'm a face. Optional, wear something with a hood as well. Edit. Reddit says no to headphones. Story 52. If you have to carry more cash than normal, put $3 to $5 in your wallet, the rest in another pocket or sock. You can cancel your cards and get new paperwork. No one will replace cash. Story 53. Pocket your wallet in horizontally. It's harder to pickpocket. Wear your backpack in front of you in shady areas. Well, that's how we do it in Manila anyway. Story 54. If you're in a big city and somebody just walks up to you and starts a conversation, they'll be asking you for money at some point in the next 90 seconds. Story 55. I've never heard of someone receiving a life-changing opportunity from another person who stopped them in the street. Keep walking, unless it's a charitable situation you're comfortable stopping for. Story 56. If you're in a different country or new place, make friends with your waiter or waitress. They live there, they know the cool spots, places where the locals go. They'll point you say from the tourist traps. Same goes with other checkpoint people, security guards, cop on the corner street, front desk agent, barista, etc. Story 57. I'm a 110-pound, tiny 20-year-old woman, and I have pretty well perfected how to not get fucked with. Some of my rules. On public transport or other public areas where you worry someone will bother you, keep your eyes to yourself. Look at your phone or read a book, while still being aware of what is going on around you. I find if your eyes are wandering and you're looking at people, some people will take it as an invitation to come talk to you, or worse, some kind of insult or threat. This is when you get a, "What are you looking at?" yelled your way. At night, especially if I have been drinking, I never walk within arm's reach of a doorway, a parked car with someone in it, an alleyway, etc. Anywhere where someone could conceivably grab you and pull you inside is somewhere you want to stay a fair distance from when you are walking past. Never take a drink that you haven't seen poured. Make sure you are the one to take it from the bartender. Don't let it be passed to you. Sometimes it sucks to turn down free drinks from a guy who is more than likely a totally normal, nice guy who isn't out to roofie you, but it's better to be safe than sorry. If you're at a bar, nightclub, and a guy is bothering you, refusing to leave you alone, touching you without your consent, or grabbing you, I once got grabbed by the neck by a man in a very busy club. Tell security. Nightclubs want girls there. This is why you so often see guys $5 girls free type deals for cover. No bar wants to get a reputation for it being a place that is dangerous for women. Security can and will kick a guy out who is being aggressive, or at the very least talk to him and agree to keep an eye on him so that you feel safe. If you are somewhere where pickpocketing is an issue, wear your purse crossbody, with the bag itself sitting in front of your body. Keep your hand resting on top of the bag. Take a photo of the license plate and/or taxi license of any taxi, Uber, Lyft car, you get it. Make it obvious that you are doing this. Send it to a trusted friend or family member. I usually will do this when texting my parents or a roommate that I am on my way home from the night. Then they know to expect you and have information about who is driving you if you don't come home. I find that doing this also prevents being flirted with, harassed, and overcharged by the driver as well. They know that you have their information and could easily use that to report them or make a complaint if they do something wrong. If someone is bothering you, do not be nice. This is my biggest tip. This works both for people begging on the street, trying to get you to buy something off of them. You see this a lot in bigger cities like Paris or Athens. If you tell a man on the street selling bracelets, "Oh, those are beautiful but no thanks," then likely they will not let up with trying to get you to buy one. If you say, "No thank you," and keep moving right off the bat, they will likely leave you alone. If they keep pushing, say that you don't like whatever they're selling, think it's ugly, and they will usually give up because they see it's not something you want. Not being nice also works when someone, usually men, are catcalling, harassing you, whether on the street or at the bar. If they compliment you, don't thank them, don't acknowledge them, just keep moving, and maybe shoot them a dirty look. If they keep following or yelling at you, reply very loudly to try and alert people around you that something is going on. Something along the lines of, "Please get away from me." Sometimes being rude is necessary to keep you from getting in harm's way. If you are ever threatened, even with a weapon, never ever go to a second location with someone. Make a scene, scream, kick, bite, pee your pants, do anything to prevent you from being taken somewhere else. Your likelihood of dying goes way up if you are taken somewhere else. Think of it this way. If you're going to be murdered either way, don't you at least want your body to be somewhere more public, instead of buried in the woods somewhere, never to be found, with your friends and family never knowing what happened? Story 58. I'm a young woman, and when I gotta walk alone by night, I pretend I'm late from somewhere and damn pissed because of it. I walk fast and act masculine. Also, when strange men stop me in the street, I talk to them very loud so they get the idea that I'm not afraid to yell and fight if they try something. My dad taught me these moves when I was a teenager. Story 59. If you have a hoodie, don't ever wear the hood. The reason for this is twofold. 1. If you are in a sketchy neighborhood, it obscures your peripheral vision and can make it harder to see people trying to run up on you. 2. If you're in a rich neighborhood, it attracts unwanted police attention. Story 60. In a sketchy area, use large windows or other reflective surfaces to look around behind you while hiding the fact that you are looking around behind you. You can be aware of what's going on without looking too nervous. 3. When first entering an area, it can be a good thing to confidently look around before proceeding. Done correctly, you look like you are able for trouble and are checking to see if your skills will be called upon. Don't overdo it. The idea is that you are tough and capable but not looking for trouble. After looking, try to project relaxed confidence as you proceed. Story 61. Carrying a fork with you everywhere. If someone is about to rob you, take out the fork and say, "Thank you, your preferred higher power, if any, for this meal." They will be confused once you want to eat them, and it will buy you time. Story 62. Lots of good ones here. Walking with purpose is huge. I'd say the biggest thing I've learned is take your time. Never try to be in a rush if you can help it. Trust your gut instincts. I can't tell you how many times I've avoided jail or a similar situation just because I took my time. Story 63. When approaching a red light stop sign, don't pull up right behind them. Leave room to maneuver your car. Don't trap yourself in. Lock your car doors and don't leave valuables in view whether you're driving or not. Keep a hammer and sharp scissors, blade in your vehicle for breaking windows and slicing locked seatbelts. Don't leave your phone unsecured in your vehicle. If you're in an accident, your stuff will scatter everywhere. You will want to have access to your phone. This goes for all valuables. Don't tell anyone all weapons you might have on you. Always have spares and always have variety. So small, accessible, secure pockets inside jeans, bras, shoes. Don't carry all your keys on one keychain. Never give a valet all of your keys, just the car key. When approaching a door that requires a key, whether it's for a building or a car or a house, always have said key ready to use immediately upon reaching the door. Don't dilly-dally around doors. Get in, get out. Double-check that the door closes fully and locks behind you. Lock an entry door from the inside prior to leaving. This way you can close the door behind you without turning your back to lock it. Don't keep all your anything in one place and don't leave anything in plain sight. Line the insides of your bathroom cabinets, drawers, and bedroom furniture drawers with holiday bells so you can hear if someone is snooping. Don't leave your personal business mail lying around in a public area of your home. Have fire extinguishers and know how to use them. Know where a fire is most likely to start in your home and keep them accessible to those areas but not in the area. Car 2. Don't go anywhere new in the world without knowing something about where you're going and how to address the various circumstances you might be faced with. In a new town, pick up a phone book from the Chamber of Commerce or wherever. Know how to read maps, read cursive. Don't start eating before the host. Learn and implement table manners as well as good spelling and speech. Don't go around telling people how shitty your exes treated you or people do to you. Makes you sound like a mark. Don't admit weakness. Have your form of payment prepared before you even walk into the store. Avoid having your wallet out and open in public. Know how to break into your own house. If you can't afford an alarm system, set up booby traps. Have a bug-out bag. Have commonly accepted barter items, gifts available. Small soap, small toothpaste, couple packs of cigarettes and books of matches, lighter, rolling papers, a few gallon-sized Ziploc baggies, small amount of weed, tip big. If someone picks something up for you at the store, give him extra for his time. Say please and thank you, and always compliment a host on the home and meal. Buy about 20 occasion cards to have at all times. Some birthday, congratulations, get better, thank you, sympathy and blank. Stamp the envelopes so they're ready. Turn off the TV. Write down and memorize important addresses, numbers, and accounts. Don't rely on your cell phone. Keep your home tidy and make your bed every day. Floss and brush daily and avoid touching your eyes, Josh nose, ears, Josh mouth. Nothing is off limits in a street fight. Avoid. Learn how to use quiet weapons. Knife throwing is good. Mace. Upon arriving at a restaurant or gathering or someone's house or whatever, first thing ask where the restroom is so you can wash your hands. You get to scope out the place. Your friends think you're clean. Keep your opinions at home. Do not hesitate. The moment you think you have to get out, go. Get out now. Safety first. Don't admit to drug use, medications, income, or valuables. Don't be nice to strangers. If you live alone, don't tell people that. Always say you have a roommate. Don't allow strangers into your home. No one who knocks is up to any good. Never talk. Always positive. Learn to control yourself and your emotions. Edit to add. Know how to identify which drug somebody might be on. Learn the behaviors and effects. Know how a drunk person acts, a junkie, a meth head, etc. This will help you assess a situation.